Everyone, it's been far too long since I made a crazy deck profile that's been working consistently. Out of 20 games against the meta, against Drytrons, against Virtual World, against Zoo, Eldlich, Invoked, Dogmatica, all these popular decks, out of 20 games, 19 of them were wins with Invoked True Draco. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and explain each card, how it works, and why it works as we go on with the deck profile. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill, and I'll be uploading more videos in the future, hopefully more consistently. So let us move on and explain what's going on. We're playing 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. This card is good. On normal summon, you get to search out Invocation, and you can go ahead and target one of your fusion cards, and it'll gain 1000 attack and defense. Really good, really standard card, and it's the bread and butter normal summon of your deck, still. Now, this is where everyone's going to be like, well, explain yourself, Crowdy9. So, 2 copies of Ignis Heat. Number 1, it's a fire target. We all love fire targets in this game. Number 2, it has a good effect. If your opponent activates pretty much anything, you can chain this and go ahead and either add or place a spell card that is True Draco in name to your field, right? Really good, really simple. The whole point is that this deck can essentially out 2 negates with 1 card. So let me say I go ahead and activate Heritage, right? My opponent will likely negate it, activate the effect in the graveyard, pop something on the field. Congrats, I got 2 negates for 1 card, or they lose resources. Their choice. Either way, it's a 2400 attack beater, still a good card. Moving on, we're playing Majesty's Maiden. Why is she good? She's a win target. What's a win target in the format? Virtual World. What else? She can go ahead and add your Ignis or your Dynamite, which we'll get into in a second. Really solid card. 2300, 2600 with Diagram. Again, we'll get into it. Still really good, and we'll talk about more of the synergy later on in the deck profile. 1 Dynamite, probably the most broken True Draco card in all of history. You can go ahead and either place or add a trap card from your deck to your field or hand when your opponent activates anything. Good card. Let me explain why. You have Makaba. Chain Dynamite. What's gonna happen? You add a trap card. You have a trap negate. That's nuts. Either way, Dynamite's really good. I just love the fact that he is one of such a broken card because you can search out Apocalypse, which is the most broken like trap card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a non-targeting half the opponent's field. Like, what? It's droplets on crack in a way. We're playing 2 copies of Eldlich. Oh, I can hear you thinking to yourself, what the fuck is going on? Again, let me explain. You make Makaba, you negate an effect on Makaba. Send your Eldlich from hand to the graveyard. What do you do from there? You send your Meltdown, or, better yet, send the True Draco spell and trap card from the back row to the graveyard. What happens? It triggers in the graveyard. What happens from there? You activate the effect, you pop something on your opponent's field, and guess what? You get free pluses, you get a free monster on board. Honestly, I threw this in at the last minute because I like the synergy between True Draco and the fact, like, again, Makaba negate is always nice. Or activate Invocation from hand, and pitch this into the graveyard, and then just bring it on as a beater. Like, again, it's options like that I like. It's a really solid synergy, and also the fact that it's just a free MST in a way, right? Send this in a spell card from your hand to the field if you need to. Pop something on the board. Set a True Draco card. Send the True Draco card to the graveyard. Summon this guy. Pop something else. Like, it's just free. Moving on from there, we're playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. The reason why is because I think it's the most generic and good hand trap in the game. I would be playing Skullmeister, we just don't have the room. The rest of the deck is spells and traps. We have a moderately small monster lineup because you have decent ways to get them searched out, and honestly that's all you really need. And the fact that Ash is good going first and second, you know, it's pretty good. If you know me, if you guys might know that I always like to play 2 elves. I like playing 2 Ghost Ogres, 2 Ashes, 2 Skullmeisters, 2 Bells, for the variety and the fact that I hopefully don't draw 2 of the same card due to their 1 per turn restriction, except for Skullmeister. If I'm playing 3 Ashes because it's just too generic, if I'm only playing 1 hand trap in my entire deck, I'd rather just max it out at 3. That's my logic. You can cut that out for like Skullmeisters if you want. For the fields, we're playing 1 copy of Terraforming to search out our copies of Magical Meltdown, which will search out our Alistair. 1 copy of Dragonic Diagram, still a really broken card. You can go ahead and send your Eldlich if you want to, then bring it back by sending this. You can go ahead and just pop to draw off Heritage. You got decent options with Diagram. 1 copy of Mystic Mine. I know people don't like it. Mystic Mine is iffy. You can cut this out if you want to. We are playing 42 cards in the main deck. But just the fact that like it stops a lot of tier 2 decks is fine enough for me. You either force out negates from your opponent or they preemptively pop it and then you OTK from there. So a lot of times I use it more as a bait card, but other times it's enough to just win the game because people just don't play back row. For some reason, Cosmic Cyclone in the current format isn't as popular. Things like Lightning Storms are, but if you're using Mystic Mine, then Lightning Storm probably isn't an option for your opponent at that point. So it's really good as a 1-of in my opinion. Wouldn't play more of it though. For the fun little engine, 1 Spellbook of Secrets and 2 Spellbooks of Knowledge. We're not playing Blue Boy. The reason being is Alistair into Artemis, activate Knowledge, you draw 2 and you get a free Macabre, right? You essentially don't lose any resources except for the Knowledge, and honestly it's really good. Yeah, I wouldn't really update this. I think these 3 cards are perfectly fine. If you want to make a 3rd Knowledge, by all means, but I think this was fine. If you want to do another Spellbook of Secrets, if you want to, by all means. If you want to add a Blue Boy, again, go ahead and use my deck as a blueprint and modify it however you'd like. We're playing 3 triple tactical talents. I'm kind of iffy on this, I will be honest with you. This I might cut out for 2 copies of Desires. The fact that I have to wait for my opponent to do something does suck a lot of the time, but because you're forcing the gates on your turn 2, it's usually really good. I like having the immediate ability to use something, and not the fact that I need to get negated in order to do something. So this is up to you guys. You can cut this for 2 Desires, or cut all 3 and throw in a Upstart and you have 40 cards. Up to you again. But overall, this is still a really solid card in theory, because if you're going first, you use Confiscation, look at their hand, know what they're going to be playing. If you're going second, it's going to be the Change of Heart more than like 90% of the time for me anyways. 2 copies of Invocation. You don't need 3 in this variant. It's not like Mech Knights where you're going to keep linking up and keep fusion summoning and linking up and fusion summoning. 2 is fine, you don't need a 3rd one. 2 copies of True Draco Heritage. This card's really good. For every True Draco card in name that gets sent from field to graveyard, you get to draw 1 additional card. So you can draw up to like +4 if you really get to that point somehow, but doesn't happen very frequently, I'll be honest. Either way, it's a 2-of, it's good, I like it, and you can go ahead and activate the second effect to tribute this card to have an additional tribute summon for your True Draco cards. From there, we are playing 2 Disciples, really good because you can go ahead and recur your deck into your graveyard into your deck, shuffle 3 True Draco cards from the graveyard to your deck, draw 1, and then again, same tribute effect on the second part. One of the most broken cards that outs Dragoon. You can go ahead and half your opponent's entire field, it does not target, and then on their main phase you can tribute summon by using this effect to tribute a True Draco card, and if you tribute this card you get to pop a monster. It's really good. And before I did forget, if any of these go to graveyard by effect or get destroyed, you get to basically MST your opponent's back row. That's good. This is monsters. 1 True King's Return. It is Call of the Haunted on crack, except it's better. You can revive back a True Draco card from your graveyard to the field in defense position, perfectly fine, do it on your opponent's end phase. Then when it comes back to your turn, link it away, activate return again, bring it back, link it away again. It is free real estate. Super nuts card. I am not playing 2 even though I know it's at 2. You don't need it at 2. You can keep recurring it if you need to. You could play 2 if you want. I just thought 1 was perfectly fine. I had no need to ever play the second one with the smaller lineup I have. For the more generics, we're playing 3 copies of There Can Only Be One. This card is Monkey Brain. You activate, your opponent no play, you win the game. Simple, easy peasy. Card is good. If it does hurt you, you can always just tribute it away with a True Draco card. It's simple. We're playing 3 copies of Impermanence. Impermanence. I know a lot of people don't like this card. I still like it. Anaconda still is a pain in the ass, because Dragoon's gonna come out of it. If I'm going second and I draw this, guess what? It's free negates. It's not once per turn. And, honestly, it's a good card. I see why people stop playing it in the current format, but I feel like if I'm going second and they have like a Vanity's Ruler, I get to pay it out, or Purple Light, which is nice. If I'm going first, I just set it. If they Lightning Storm me, they Lightning Storm me. It happens, right? It's gonna happen sometimes. I don't really side this out very often. If I do, it's only 1 out of the 3 that I will side out. But it's also match specific. But I think this card is still a good card at 3, just because I'm only playing 3 Ash. I need some kind of other disruption. You can cut this out for Skullmeister if you'd like. And then for the 1-0s, 1 Imperial Order and 1 Skill Drain. These are both good. For the Skill Drain, you use Merkaba effect, you bait out something from your opponent, and then you activate Skill Drain for the rest of their opponent's monster effects. Imperial Order, kind of the same concept. It's gonna be their turn, you're not activating any quick plays here, right? So you just go ahead and just activate Imperial Order. Their Lightning Storm is shut down, their Cosmics, assuming they didn't chain it, are shut down, like half their plays might be shut down. It's a good card. And you can always just tribute it away for a true Draco card. These cards are never gonna hurt you. Well, they shouldn't anyways. That's the main deck, 42 cards. If you have any questions on that, please let me know down below. And let's kind of speed through the rest of this because we all kind of know what everything is gonna be. 2 Merkaba negates for the banishing. 1 actually, Purgatrio. I'm not playing 2. I know you guys know I play 2 Purgatrios in almost every variant of Invoke. You just don't need it in this one. I hate to say it. You have a lot of fire targets in the main deck, so 1 is usually fine. 1 Raijin. You have Majesties. You have Virtual World opponents. You have Draw Lock. You have decent options for him. So 1 Caliga. A lot of decks still can't out the 1 effect thing, where if I negate that 1 effect, sometimes they just scoop the game up. It's a good card if you need to really stall out your turn 1 plays, or if you feel like Merkaba isn't as ideal as other options. And then 1 Aguides, because we all love the meltdown priority where your opponent cannot do anything and you look at them and laugh. And you just pop a card for free. 1 Secure Gardener for the Link 1, 1 Almirage for the Link 1, and 1 Artemis for the Link 1. We have the package obviously of these 2, we have the package of just her. I'm still playing Secure Garden and Almirage because I do value the fact that Almirage can go into Hida. You see where I'm going with this, right? That's good for that purpose. If not, I have an extra light target if I need it. Artemis, same thing. I can knowledge her away. So Alistair into Artemis, activate knowledge, put this back, draw 2, activate invocation, I still get a Merkaba. Really good. 1 Hida, 1 Win, and 1 Alistair, Collector's Rare of course, for the Link 2 lineups. So again, we have a lot of fire targets. We have Ash, we have Ignis, we have Purgatrio, we have Almirage. We have some decent targets for Hida. For Win, we have Majesties, and we have Raijin. Drawlock is in our side deck, and then we have also your opponent's Virtual World. So you have some decent options for Win, and then Alistair because it kind of works out the same way. And guess what? All 3 of these cards can go into Selene. It's nuts. It's a good card. Then obviously we all know what Selene does. Just special summon something in defense mode, and then from there make an access code talker. Look how free this is. Like, it's actually nuts how free it is to get to access code talker in this variant. Just because you have all these free resources. And then the last card is just a Boral Sword. Used to be the biggest win condition in the game, now it's access code talker. This is still good. You can swap this out for like a Borload or anything else, honestly. Just sometimes I want to push for that extra bit of damage, or no, I can close it out just through pure beatdown. Because honestly, sometimes access code talker isn't enough because it's only 5300. If your opponent has an empty field and you have this and like a Merkaba, it's just game. That's like more than enough to kill. And then finally for the side deck, this varies depending on your locals, your remote duels, whatever you're playing, so just keep this in mind. This is just how I feel it's been working kind of well for the meta. 3 draw locks. I don't like when people add too much from their deck to their hand. Again, this is primarily going second cards. Skullmeister again, same thing. It's a good card. If I feel like it is a very valuable card going second, I'll throw it in. Then we have the 3 1-ofs, Mind Control, Harpies, and Prankatops. This could be like an Ibirus or Dark Rule or whatever you want, honestly. I just like this small lineup of 1-ofs. Statistically, you're going to draw one of them sometimes. Harpies is good, Mind Control is good, again you can link easily. Prankatops is good, pop, summon, attack, whatever you want to do. Next we're playing 3-dimensional barriers. This is good because if they do Lightning Storm you and you have this set, it's kind of like a loss for them because it didn't matter if it was destroyed or not. If they're playing Virtual World, you call Synchro. If they're playing Zodiac Eldlich, which does suck because there is still the Eldlich portion, you call XCs, they can't make Zeus. You call Fusion against a Dogmatica deck, Fluffle deck, whatever it might be, right? And then you just call, whatchamacallit? You just call Ritual on the Drytrons. It doesn't hurt them as much, honestly, but it still hurts them a little bit. And then finally, we have 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. Similar to Imperial Order, you just don't want to get Lightning Stormed. And a lot of the time, if you're going first, you set this up, they're going second, you just win the game, because they probably know you're going first, and if you have this or Imperial, they just kind of lose. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's the whole deck. Guys, thank you guys for watching. Sorry if it was a little bit long-winded. I haven't recorded in a while. I kind of re-recorded this a couple of times because I wasn't happy with like 40-minute videos explaining every single older card. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you want any kind of alternatives to anything in the deck list, let me know. I'll try to help out because I know not everyone can afford an Access Code Talker or triple Tactical Talents. So again, I will always help out how I can. And you know, go ahead and playtest this deck. Let me know how it works for you. If you have any questions, if you guys want to see future replays, I'll go ahead and save some. I don't really mind. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and hope you enjoyed the video.